Noah's takedown on this.
Ludwig, Hassan, and Vosh, and we're all the same guy with the same arguments apparently. Of course, I think it's totally fair to opt out of making a video response. He's busy. He's got better things to do, like explain to us how feminism is making women fall in love with Justin Bieber or whatever. It's important political work, and I respect his decision to pursue it. But I am a commentary YouTuber, which means that I do not have better things to do. I have time today.
That is correct, dude. Bro. YouTubers have the most free time on the planet. There's a friend of mine who does YouTube. I swear to God, they work maybe once a month. Every time I ask them what they're doing something fun. I'm like, when was the last time you worked? They're like, I don't remember. I'm like, fuck you. Meanwhile, I'm leaving parties early because I'm like, I have to stream. You know how many people I had to tell yesterday? You know how terrible the emotion is on other people's face when I tell them I have to go stream? I was hanging out with some people and they're like, oh, like we're about to do karaoke. You should stay up and come with us. And I was like, I have to stream tomorrow. And they're like, oh, well, like what time? And I'm like 7 a.m. And they're like, it's 3 right now. I'm like, I know. I am also aware of what time it currently is. I'm on the same page. Don't worry. I know. I'm going to regret this later.
This video is going to be a bit of a slog, so to minimize the sloggery, I'm just going to go through and respond to Think Before You Sleep's main complaints about my video in order of relevance. The full post is linked in the description. You should go read it to make sure that I'm not misrepresenting anything he was saying. Last thing here, at the end of his post, he writes this: TLDR, people I disagree with are wrong. Also, if you don't want to read it, then use text-to-speech. Full screen a stock image, and it will be just like watching a video of mine. He's got a sense of humor here, which I think that's good. But instead of doing text-to-speech, I had a better idea. I'm gonna soothe the audience's ear wounds suffered in the last video by having someone with a smooth, calming voice read Think Before You Sleep's voice lines. Andrewism is the one. He will be doing that today. Hi, Andrewism.
Awesome. Alright, we're doing this with the dog. Noah Samsen. Take 1, take 0, take 2, however many takes this takes.
Go check out his channel after this. He uses his same voice over there, and his videos are as good as his voice, which means it's very good stuff. Okay, long intro over. Let's begin. The first critique from Think Before You Sleep that I want to look at is that of hypocrisy. I criticized him for not watching Ash's video in full, and yet I only reacted to half of his video. This is a contradiction. Laziness for me, but not for thee, if you follow. Let's read that now.
Noah only reacted to about half of my video. His video was 21 minutes. Mine was 30 minutes. So by his followers' logic, he must be taking me out of context and avoiding crucial points so he can sell a narrative.
By your logic is one of the funnier online...
Can you imagine being like that dumb, chat? Can you imagine? God bless. Life could be worse. If in the first 15 minutes you make so many dumb points that it's clear no one should take you seriously, that's different than you misrepresenting someone else. Don't worry, Think Before You Sleep. No one needs to misrepresent you to make you look like a fucking moron. You do that all on your own.
Online argumentation tactics. Its pervasive use was summed up well here in this Vulture article. Feel free to pause and read. But one major problem with the by your logic line of argumentation is that it's often totally vacuous. And that's the case here. In his entire post, Think Before You Sleep doesn't give any examples where I took him out of context or avoided these crucial points of his. Let's keep reading though. He continues.
Noah used this as a point to call me lazy and say, just watch the video, bro, which is probably a projection on him because I know he watches/watched Vosh, and Vosh openly admitted to not pre-watching content before he reacts to it when he reacted to my Ludwig video.
Objection, relevance, Your Honor. The prosecution is referencing a very dark time in the defendant's life where he did indeed still watch Vosh.
If Noah actually watched my full video and didn't just stop at the halfway point like his video does, then he would know that I referenced stuff at the end of the Novara Media video in my video, which means I would have had to watch the whole thing to reference that material.
Okay, now we arrive at my main point for this one. Yes, he does include clips in his video that come up in the end of Ash's video. However, this response totally misses the point of my critique. Evidence that you watched the video isn't evidence that you understood it. When I say watch the full video, bro, watch the video. All you gotta do is watch the video. What I'm referring to is the fact that there are claims made in his video that are directly contradicted by things mentioned later in Ash's. For example, at 28 seconds into his video, Think Before You Sleep says this.
Oh no, women doing housework, child rearing, right wing, traditional. What has this world come to? This is terrible. Somebody please save us from this deeply misogynistic movement where women are choosing to stay home instead of working a job.
But Ash, at just 1 minute and 28 seconds into her video, says this.
I'm not saying there's anything inherently degrading about being a mum or making nice meals. I like cooking elaborate dinners. For that matter, my boyfriend does too. But the tradwife trend isn't just a way to talk about the experience of being a woman and doing domestic labour. It's saying that being a woman or expressing your femininity most fully means doing all the domestic labour.
If he watched the video 3 times, as he later says he did, he would know.
You mean to tell me that he was chip clipping to appeal to his incel audience? No frickin' way. No frickin' way. Are you serious right now? Are you freaking serious right now? Wow. Wow.
That claiming multiple times that Ash is trying to argue that being a housewife is inherently misogynistic is dishonest. It's a misrepresentation. But he does it anyway. Whether or not Think Before You Sleep actually watched the video in question is obviously speculation on my part. But if he did watch this video, then by leaving contradictory points in it, like this one, he has intentionally misrepresented Navarro media. Another thing to point out here is that Think Before You Sleep doesn't play this clip of Ash, the one that contradicts his entire narrative, until 7 minutes and 28 seconds into his video, despite playing the claims just before it at the start of the video. This allows him to frame Ash in a much more negative light to his audience than is warranted. Okay, the second critique we're going to look at is Think Before You Sleep saying that I misrepresented him by my use of a clip from Sean's video about teal deer. Let's read.
Yesterday, a current/former.
Are you eepy? I'm eepy. I'm a little eepy. I am. I want to get some sleep. I can't wait to nap. We're going to do that later, though. We have a stream to do, guys, okay? I have a stream to stream. What does eepy mean? It's like sleepy without the SL. I'm eepy.
Former Vosh fan Noah Samsen.
Again with the Vosh thing. Come on, man. You're being really loud. Seriously, man. I don't need people hearing that. If I had to venture a guess as to why he brings that up 4 separate times, I would say that he's dropping a little bit of poison into the well. Poisoning the well. His audience does not like Vosh. Check the comments on this video for evidence of that. So to me, this feels like he's maybe priming them to not take me seriously or discredit me for my unfortunate former content consumption choices. Maybe not, you know, but also maybe. I don't know, you tell me. Anyways.
Yesterday, a current/former Vosh fan, Noah Samsen, made a reaction to my video on Novara Media with Ash Sarkar. A video where he calls me lazy and dishonest, while at the same time putting so little work into the video that he forgets to clarify to his audience that I and Teal there are not the same person. So I got many people in my comments accusing me of something that I didn't say.
Think Before You Sleep continues on this point later.
He makes a reference to 2014 YouTube and puts Teal there on the screen, who proceeds to incorrectly define neoliberalism and edits the video in a way, probably by mistake, that makes it seem like I said it, which resulted in a ton of people accusing me of something that I didn't say.
Okay, so no, just no. The fact that Teal Deer and Think Before You Sleep are different people is made obvious by a number of context clues. I preface the clip by saying that Think Before You Sleep reminds me of the old anti-SJW videos. I remember there's some old anti-SJW videos that did this same thing. When the clip plays, the source of Sean's video is just—
Dude, his brain is made out of mush. Dude, what is this? This guy's still chatting. Oh yeah, this guy with the egg and the bread and the lol. No, feminism is a female supremacist movement. Let's call it what it is, okay? Just pick up one book. Just one book. Just like even one, and that's fine. You don't have to hear it from me. You can pick up The Second Sex, great book. Simone de Beauvoir, wonderful book. You can learn a lot from that. Pick up anything by Wollstonecraft. It'll be great. It'll be great. What the fuck is this? Obviously not me, because you don't know me, because it's now whiny to call something wrong by its name, but I just wonder, how does it feel to trade in your balls for female approval, man? You may as well donate them to someone who needs them, because you obviously don't. So goodbye, femboy. I can't keep having a convo with you. I feel like you gonna infect my mind with stupidities. That is bold. That is a bold play to say someone else is gonna infect your mind with stupidity when you're clearly the one that's doing the infecting. That's crazy, dude. Does he know? Does he know? Does he know? Does he know? This is Think Before You Sleep alt account. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. This is like, I don't like to quote Dunning-Kruger often, but this is a real Dunning-Kruger moment. This is it, man. At least you admit it instead of denying it. I respect that. But sadly, if y'all keep going like this, in a couple more generations is gonna destroy human civilization as we know it. And everything we've built until now, y'all don't realize it's not just gonna affect men, but destroy all of us. I hope we, as a society, realize it before it's too late. Dude, how pathetic is your male society if feminism can cause it to crumble? Like, high key, in this worldview you have where male society is like the end all be all, why is it so fragile that like the notion of feminism can destroy it? Like literal world ending powers. Sounds like a weak ass, stupid ass society. Not gonna lie. Actual House of Cards, I know, right? Oh man, dude, that's tough. But good luck, man.
Displayed clearly on the screen. It also shows the year, 2016, which is well before Think Before You Sleep even uploaded his first video. While both of their voices do have a similarly titanic smugness, Teal'c has a British accent. I'm here operating under the assumption that viewers will recognize the difference between a smug American accent and a smug British one. If this was a mistake, then I am deeply sorry to all those affected. But when he says that people in the comments are accusing him of saying things he didn't say, what is he talking about? I think this is one of the comments in question. The reason being is that this is one of the only ones from his video that he responded to, and it makes a claim similar to the one that he outlines. You basically just said, all video, I'm uneducated and will not educate myself, so you're wrong. How do you talk about politics not knowing what neoliberalism is? To which Think Before You Sleep responded, that's not what I said. I said the audience isn't going to do that, and therefore constantly using terms they don't understand without explaining them, like the pseudo-intellectuals love to do so they look smart, will confuse the audience and make them tune out. That's not what you said though, is it? Think Before You Sleep.
That's not even close to what he said. Holy fuck. Whoa, dude. Where'd you get that from? Where did you get that from, man? That's crazy. He literally just started lying. He was like, actually, what I said was this thing I didn't say.
Ash said this.
It's part of a wider shift of young people being dissatisfied with neoliberalism and wanting social change.
And then you said this.
I have no idea what she just said, so I'm going to go by what the red highlighted text says.
That was it. You didn't give any examples of Ash's pseudo-intellectualism, and you definitely didn't ever actually explain the term neoliberalism. The joke you made was that you don't know what it means. By your logic, your own audience must have started shitting and farting as soon as they heard you make that joke. That's gross. Okay, I do see the appeal of by your logicking someone. It's fun, it's cathartic in a sort of Reddit kind of way. Now, he echoes this point later in his response.
To add the context of that, in my video, I feigned ignorance about not knowing what the term neoliberal means. It's a scripted video, guys. If I genuinely don't know what a term means, I can just look it up.
First, I love when he says, this video was scripted. If I don't know what a term means, I can just look it up. Because I wrote a video essay, if I got anything wrong, no, I didn't. That's what that means.
I did that as a
Oh, Lord. Oh, God, dude. Me too, man. Me too. Luckily, I'm a streamer, so I'm allowed to be a moron. It's pretty great.
joke because Novara Media uses the term neoliberalism a lot in the videos that I watched, yet I never saw them define it. It kind of seems like Novara Media's videos let's just say you're not the intended audience. Anyway.
I'm trying to cut down on critiquing comedy, but this joke, as he's described it, only works if his audience knows that Navarro Media does what he says they do. But he never explains that. He doesn't even mention it. So how would they know? Regardless of intent, the joke that's being made in the text is that you don't know what neoliberalism is, and that her use of it in that sentence was unintelligible to you.
I have no idea what she just said, so I'm going to go by what the red highlighted text says.
And to be clear, that's a fine joke to make. It is preachy in that it relies on his audience's pre-existing biases about leftist intellectualism or whatever, but there's no need to lie about it. The commenters aren't mistaking you for teal deer. They've recognized that you both basically did the same thing. What is truly hilarious, though, is how similar his response is to teal deer's.
YouTube commenters were quick to point out teal deer's mistake, which led to him claiming it was just a joke, which led to the rather obvious follow-up question: what was the joke? And I guess after getting a bunch of comments explaining his mistake, Teal Deer got sick of it and added the following disclaimer to the video description. To all the people telling me I don't know what neoliberalism is, you missed the joke. So here it is, spelled out for you.
So he made a joke that didn't make any sense.
Me when I lie. Me when I lie. I love to lie. I love to pretend like I know things, and instead of just owning up to it and being like, yeah, I didn't know what that word meant, and I thought it meant something else, and I realized now it didn't mean that, and I'm an idiot. Dude. Fucking brain rot. Fucking commentary male YouTuber brain rot.
Sense, and later tried to retroactively explain the joke by including context that wasn't present in the original video. Context about leftists using terms they don't understand in order to seem smarter than they really are.
I know you're trying to invent a load of bullshit nonsense buzzwords.
This is not Think Before You Sleep's video. Not Think Before You Sleep British. Warning, disclaimer, this is about teal deer. Not Think Before You Sleep. This video is 7 years old.
Words that people can then go home and throw out on their Twitter and Tumblr accounts to try and make themselves look intellectual while they're talking about some mythical patriarchy.
This fits in perfectly with what he says next.
I did that as a joke because Novara Media uses the term neoliberalism a lot in the videos that I watched, yet I never saw them define it, which is a common thing the intelligentsia loves to do to make themselves appear smart when really all they are doing... Am I the intelligentsia? Anyway, which is a common thing the intelligentsia loves to do to make themselves appear smart when really all they're doing is alienating their potential audience who has no idea what they are talking about.
The teal deer allegations are just smacking this guy silly. Okay, enough of that. The next point here is guilt by association.
I did enjoy the fact that Noah said he's just saying they are guilty by association toward me when I talked about Novara Media's financial ties
D
but
group.
ignores the multitude of times that Ash relates trad wives to a bunch of people they outwardly don't like and makes them guilty by association. How dare you?
Goalpost shift. He didn't merely talk about Novara Media's financial ties. He continually and explicitly stated that Novara Media is both influenced and funded by George Soros.
Oh, look, it's billionaire George Soros. I swear when you study this stuff enough, it feels like all paths eventually lead to George Soros. The founder of Novara Media, this guy here, Aaron Bastani, has also written for the George Soros-funded Open Democracy, and Novara Media did a podcast with Open Democracy's founder as well.
Me when I lie. Me when I lie.
So who exactly is funding you again? Particularly considering that Novara Media obviously has some big funders and is not a grassroots channel. More importantly though, and now that we know who's behind this company,
They're not. The ties are guilt by association because Novara Media is not partnered with anyone that's funded by George Soros. It's a partner of a partner. Elsewhere in the post, he elaborates on these funding claims.
Soros gives Open Democracy tons of money. He can use that leverage to pit Open Democracy against Novara Media if Novara Media doesn't toe the communist line.
No evidence. Zero evidence for this assertion. Just, he could do this, and I don't have any way to prove it, but he could. He's writing fan fiction for anti-Semites. Quick joke explainer there. I'm not calling Think Before You Sleep an anti-Semite, but insinuating that all information channels are controlled by George Soros is very often used as an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. Love to have...
Isn't it sad that you have to do this, by the way, chat? Isn't that sad? When like someone, when you make like a joke about something, it's like you have to tell them, hey, I gotta explain the joke to you just really quickly, okay? Who's it, Stinky? Who's it, Stinky? Who is it? There he go.
have to explain my jokes so I don't get jumped on by a bunch of goobers.
But really, if Novara Media wants to show people they don't have any elite investors, then show us a full audit of your 10,000 donors. As far as I can see, they don't do that. We might not find billionaire investors, but we could very well find multimillionaire investors. Ironically, Open Democracy shows their donors, which makes them more honest than Novara Media.
Again, pay close attention to the language he's using here. We might. We could. Okay, well, you haven't. So until you do, what are you saying? You're just insinuating blame where no blame has been proven. For Think Before You Sleep, innocent until proven guilty doesn't apply to leftists. It only applies to men that have been accused of sexual assault. For some reason. It's weird.
Literally, the Hitler was a vegetarian, therefore all vegetarians are Nazis argument. You can disagree on whether I provided adequate proof or not, but don't then completely ignore it when Ash Sarkar uses the very tactic you're accusing me of. A lot. You don't want to be accused of taking things out of context or avoiding points that are inconvenient to your narrative, would you? Yeah, Noah, would you?
Even if Ash had used this tactic, which she didn't, I'll get into that, but even if she had, that would hold no bearing on the validity of my point. The mere fact that I didn't mention something that you think Ash did is not evidence disproving my argument. He also ignores my critique here by just saying that you can disagree. I did disagree.
I'm so happy that we're all cured, chat, and that none of us are debate bros, or that all of us are like not this level of debate bro. Can you imagine making a whole ass fucking essay about how some guy on the internet bullied you? But you can't even write a good sentence. Actually, this is an ad hominem. Actually, these things are inconvenient to your narrative, so you're not bringing them up. Actually, this is me when I lie. Like, damn, dude, like, grow up, bro. For real, like, grow up. You don't think a lot is a good sentence? I'm afraid I don't.
And you just didn't address the reasons why I disagree. That is pretty important, in my opinion. Like, I get, this isn't a full response, this is a text post, but do that just once, that's all I'm asking. He later reiterates this misinterpretation of Ash's words.
The reason I spend so much time fact-checking is so I don't make mistakes like arguing that a significant portion of trad wives are neo-Nazis based on a tweet that had 6 likes on it.
She never argued that, though. Hey, come here. Think before you sleep. Where did she argue that? Cite where she argued that. You can't? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Now, what Ash did say was this.
There's an overlap, therefore, between the trad wife trend and white nationalism. This overlap can be implicit, subtle, and unconscious, taking place through aesthetics. This might be using adverts of white nuclear families from the 1950s to stand in for the universal ideal marriage, or contrasting the ideal trad wife to the stereotypical boss bitch, who's always associated with hip-hop culture and almost always black. This reinforces the idea that the ideal, most elegant, and most desirable model of femininity is white European.
Which is obviously a much more nuanced take on the issue than...
Also a very good take, by the way. Very good.
Think before you sleep makes it seem. Just like in his video, he reduces her perspective down to she thinks a lot of trad wives are Nazis, when that's just nowhere to be found in her video. I just want to say a few more things here before we wrap this video up, because I know it's dragging on. Here's Think Before You Sleep scolding my audience a little
Dragging these nuts.
but it doesn't solve the problem of people thinking that they have these amazing critical thinking skills while simultaneously only being able to repeat their creator's talking points verbatim, which is a problem because the creator didn't put the proper amount of OCD into his video to make sure things were reasonably accurate. If Think Before You Sleep has a problem with audience members going around repeating talking points verbatim, he should check the comment sections of literally any of the videos that he's responded to. The Novara Media one is a good start. Came to the comments, wasn't disappointed at all. If Ash is a Muslim, as she has claimed in the past, surely she would be aware of the traditional family structures that are a foundation of the vast majority of Muslim families. Or is it only bad when the Christians do it? Does that sound familiar to anyone?
How are Christians regressive? I mean, Muslims have traditional values. Are they regressive too?
We're totally independent from billionaires. Disclaimer, George Soros doesn't count as a billionaire because, these clowns are so good at making themselves look like hypocrites, pointing it out almost feels like bullying. Here's one of his viewers just openly spreading the lie that George Soros funds Novara Media. Where could he have gotten that information from? Oh, damn, I want to be a non-trad husband. Staying at home while my partner works would be a lot easier than having a job. Those husbands are suckers.
I bet if women actually gave men a choice to stay at home versus work for some boss they don't like or for rude customers, a giant portion of them would gladly not go to work.
So attentive viewers may have noticed that every single one of these points are points that are directly pulled from Think Before You Sleep's video. And if it seems like I'm making a buy your logic point here, that's not what I'm trying to do, because I sincerely do not really care about this type of thing. Part of having a large channel is that a certain subset of your viewers are going to go and repeat the things you've said without necessarily adding anything new, adding some of their perspective. I don't like it when people do that, but some people just do that, and there's not much you can do to prevent it. The difference here, though, is...
Like I said, guys, if you ever see someone saying some stupid shit on Twitter, whether it's at me or I don't know, at someone else I know or something, just call them like potato brained. Just call them like mashed potato brained or just L ratio. Don't engage with these people. Don't even bother wasting your time. 99% of these people, they live to be given like a shred of attention. Don't even bother. Don't even bother. Twitter, what's that? You're on the right step. This is already step 1 successful. L plus ratio plus potato pill. Dude, I could go for a baked potato right now. Oh, that'd be so good. A baked potato with some chives, some cheese. Ooh, maybe some like... Can you imagine like pulled pork on like a roasted potato? Wow. Okay. I can't be thinking about this stuff. What about dill? Ooh. Oh, some dill would be so good. Why are you doing this? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
is that I'm not citing that as evidence of an inaccurate video. Think Before You Sleep is doing that. We are not the same. Okay, last point, I promise you, here we go. In this post, Think Before You Sleep repeatedly cites the amount of time he spends on his videos, and contrasts this with the amount of time that I must spend on mine. How does he know that? Well, reasons.
Though I'm not sure that Noah has the work ethic to do this level of work that I do. What work, dog? I saw the parts of your video that he showed on the screen, and it wasn't good. Whatever. Though I'm not sure that Noah has the work ethic to do this level of work that I do for my videos, because he self-admitted to only spend an hour on one of his scripts by saying roughly, "Sorry there were so many mistakes in my video. I only spent an hour on the script. If need be, I can go dig that quote up," but I believe he said it because he has some beef after losing a morality battle with Vosh.
Why does he keep arguing with me using the reanimated corpse of a 2-year-old drama? What's up with that, you know? I love that he keeps doing this. Instead of addressing the points made in my video, he brings up various unrelated points to speculate on the accuracy of my work, without actually providing his reasoning, you know? It is cowardly behavior of the highest order. The important thing to remember here, though, as I mentioned before, is that spending more time on something is not on its own evidence that that thing is good. James Cameron spent 39 years of his life working on Avatar, and that shit was ass, in my opinion. Of course, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, that shit was, that was not. Avatar 2 was low-key kind of like mid. I think enough time has passed that I can say that. If you liked it, good for you. I'm glad. I could not. I just so long. Oh my God, it took forever. Chat. I'm not high, I'm just tired. Okay, I'm just trying to keep my eyes open. Joshua girl, hi.
Opinion. It was a fun movie, all right? It was a fun movie. I had fun. But for the time spent, you know, I don't know.
I have never once spent an hour on a script. The reason I don't do that is because fact-checking and research is a very time-consuming process, and if you're only spending an hour writing your material, then you basically aren't fact-checking anything. You're just writing from memory, which will cause you to unintentionally misrepresent information.
So this can be summed up as the work harder, not smarter approach. The virgin, I spend years on scripts just for them to still be bad, versus the Chad, I debunked your shit in the same amount of time it takes for me to make a TikTok reaction video. All right, we're done now, but to conclude, think before you sleep. If my work is as bad as you say, respond to it. Properly respond to it in a video. I mean it shouldn't be difficult given my lazy, stupid communist tendencies. If you don't want the smoke, that's fine. I don't want to keep you from the reality TV reaction stuff you're normally doing. But the reason I do want to see this is because I do genuinely take issue with the way you continually misrepresent leftist positions on your channel. Egregiously so. You know, that video was egregious. I would consider it egregious. It's a pattern on your channel, and it's not beneath me to cover this pattern for my next 12 videos. If you do respond, my only request is that you try not to proxy argue your case using years-old beef that I have with other content creators, and that you have someone else read your lines so we can stop killing off members of my audience from the blood loss out of their ears. Okay, that's it. Thanks again to my patrons.